Hey everybody, Daniel Ramsey here with MyOutDesk, and I'm very excited because today we have HR help from a professional. And as you know, we're in this coronavirus world. COVID-19 is it COVID-19? Tell me, is that right? Like, I can't read anything, I can't see anything without seeing those headlines everywhere. It's almost impossible to be in a world where there's any other news, right? And so today I've got Lee Yarborough here. She's actually from Propel HR. She serves over 17,000 employees, multiple businesses, and we're going to be talking about what a CEO should be focused on right now, what small and medium-sized businesses need to do today in order to survive this uncertain time. If you know our podcast or our YouTube channel, you know we've written a book, MyOutDesk, about going virtual. And today we're going to give away our entire guide about going remote. And so if you stay here to the end, Lee's actually going to go over 3 steps that you need to implement right now. And we reached out to her because, well, she's in HR and she's fielding these calls from businesses and employees like, what are my benefits? What should I be doing? Having a lot of conversations. And we're just so thankful she's here today to share her world with us. Lee, thanks for joining.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let's talk about how a little background, quick background for the audience so they know who you are and why they should be paying attention.
Sure. I'm in Greenville, South Carolina. Propel HR is a business that I founded with my father 22 years ago. We are a full-service professional employer organization, which we call a PEO. And we also offer a la carte services. So clients we might just do payroll and HR, we might do workers' comp, we might do benefits with payroll. So kind of just an a la carte. So a little bit of everything.
There you go. Okay. So we were talking before the show and you're fielding a lot of calls. And I kind of want to get into that scenario, like exactly what is happening right now in your world with all of these employees. And then we'll go through our 3 steps to kind of survive in this uncertain time.
Well, as everybody's experiencing, the past 2 weeks, I feel like have been almost a year. It's hard to even think back 2 weeks ago and what we were doing and what we were planning. And so every day is a new day, just trying to focus on that and trying to help our clients and react and learn. Feel like we're drinking from a fire hydrant right now. There's a lot of things happening legislatively. So trying to absorb all of that. Our clients, we've had to reduce our staff. Everybody's working remote except for a few key people. Yep. And then we are fielding calls from clients nonstop with, just questions on how to handle this crisis, whether they need to lay off employees, whether they're furloughing employees, just fears and dealing with commuting and how to start that if they haven't. So a little bit of everything.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's definitely on our mind, being a 100% remote company. And wildly enough, we've been like that for 13 years with over 5,000 clients. It's been kind of like a wake up call for a lot of our businesses that we serve because, they got to figure out how am I going to get internet? Do I need video? How am I going to lead teams remotely? So there's a lot of moving parts in this world right now.
Absolutely.
I wanted to talk a little about the difference between furlough and termination, layoffs. There's a lot of noise going around. We saw some large corporations yesterday and today are announcing layoffs. I wanted to get your brain around, like, what are all the options as an entrepreneur from an HR perspective for making changes in your employee base?
One thing I've learned through this process is that furlough is not actually a technical legal word. It comes from the military. So it is, it's kind of a leave of absence. But yet there is the hope that your job will come back. So most of our clients are implementing furloughs. They are doing it in several different ways, whether we're saying your job you're not going to have a job for the coming weeks, until we know what happens going forward.
Yep.
Some are furloughing or reducing hours, maybe saying we're going to work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and have a few days off where we're not paying you. And then there are clients that are just laying off groups of employees. There's things that when you lay off large groups, and depending on your size, there's different laws and different compliance issues that they have to be aware of. But we're seeing a little bit of everything.
What on the furlough side? I mean, is it like a temporary pause? I mean, I'm hearing a lot of people who are just asking the government to say, "Hey, we don't have to pay rent. We don't have to pay our mortgages. We're going to pause paying employees for 2 weeks, and then we'll get this thing going maybe by Easter." I'm just kind of curious, what's the difference between a furlough and, I mean, do they retain their benefits? Are they on some sort of a payroll? Like, what's the differentiators there?
So typically, if you do a furlough, that it is a pause is a good way to say that. From the standpoint of benefits, you're bringing in a whole new slew of questions and issues. Most benefits, you have to look to your plan documents.
Right.
Most typically are that you can stay on your benefits for 30 days for a leave of absence, and then it's a COBRA event. But those are changing. We're actually talking to different carriers, and most of the carriers are looking at, can they extend that to 90 days? But I definitely are warning clients that they need to look at their plan documents and make sure. We cannot promise that you're going to stay on the insurance until we have that security around what the insurance carrier is doing. Another thing too to think about is, a lot of employers don't want to make it a COBRA event because they are hoping to bring back the employee. But financially too, are they, who's able to maintain that coverage? Is the employee able to maintain the cost for the full family? Or, there's so many details that need to be thought through before just saying, let's pause this for a while.
Yeah. And I guess your point in that is check your plan details, know exactly what it says and what you can do in the short term, long term, and these different scenarios. All right. Well, let's talk through your 3 steps. It was cool to actually know that you had some answers for people when they're calling and you have kind of a process. So your first step was talk about the financials, understand exactly what the financial implication of this kind of uncertain time is within your business. Lee, help us through what that means.
Well, I think it depends on the business structure and the type. Really, I think that we're fielding a lot of calls that are panic and worry. So just kind of saying, take a breath. Let's see, what have you done from your financial standpoint? What, is business able to continue? Or if you're a restaurant, are you able to do some takeout? If you are completely closed, what does that mean? How long can you financially sustain the business without knowing what the income will be? So really just kind of advising clients to really get with their financial advisors, see what, see how long they think they can endure this. And I would also suggest reaching out to their bankers, reaching out to their vendors, reaching out to their clients. It's really important to keep a pulse on their clients and customers to make sure they know their clients' financial security. So everything's kind of a trickle down. So they need to really do just a really, just monitor it daily and make sure they know every single step of the way what's happening.
Yeah, one of my friends, I'm in a mastermind, and one of those groups said that the last time they went through some sort of a financial crisis, every Monday they had a cash meeting where all the leaders and the managers kind of got together and talked about what resources the business needed in this week. Like, it was a weekly meeting. Right. Decisions were made, people were paid, things happened, but all the decisions were made as a group, and it was a shorter time. Normally we're planning cash every 2 weeks, 30 days, even 6 months out. But during this time, I think it's wise advice to up the communication, up the meeting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that if you think about how much your own life has changed in the past 2 weeks and how every day has felt like so different than the day before,
Yep.
I mean, those meetings should probably even be daily. I mean, it's, like, let's look at it daily, what's happening. Are any, customers being affected? Can we keep getting logistics out? Whatever it is, I think that these conversations have to be happening, daily.
Well, we've already walked into step number 2, which is communicate,
Right,
which is great. I mean, what do you tell your banker or your financial advisor or the person in your office who's responsible for paying bills and doing all that? Like, what are the conversations that you suggest leaders are having with their internal teams, their external partners? Like, what does that look like?
Well, I think that communication, I mean, just in general, should always be honest.
Yep.
So I don't think that this is not the time to make everything seem rosy. I think it's important to be hopeful. But I think you can call your banker and say, we're watching this. We're seeing how it's affecting us. Want to make sure that you and I have a open, communication, and that we can call each other if there's some concerns. But I think just reaching out, I've been reaching out to clients saying, how are you doing? What's going on? How are you handling this? And so sometimes it's just asking questions. You can learn a lot about things, and then being honest. If you feel like, I think you mentioned earlier about rent and things like that, if you feel that you're not going to be able to make an obligation financially, call that company and let them know that we're struggling. Maybe we can send you this. I mean, I think it's just that's going to really help morale. It's going to help people. People are really understanding right now. So I think it's just having authentic and honest conversations is going to be just key during this time.
I love that. Your third step, it's interesting. It's almost like being a strategic CEO. And what you said earlier was like plan, do some planning. So what do you think businesses should be planning for right now?
Well, I think we have to plan for the worst. So how is this going to affect us? But we also, all entrepreneurs are hopeful people that can really get over obstacles and really rise to the occasion. So I think that we have to come at it from a sense of hope. I think we have to be realistic, but we really, America was built on visionaries and entrepreneurs. So we have to keep that. We have to keep morale up. We have to, so we're going to make very difficult decisions in the coming weeks. And that's a given. That's what being a leader is about. So I believe that we have to make responsible decisions, but we have to engage with a sense of hope and plan for the future. It's going to get better. It really is.
I love that. Something that I heard this morning was every day into a recession, you are closer to a boom or like a good, and that is exciting. And then every day when we're in an up market, we're closer to a recession. So you've got to plan and be prepared for that. And so I think it's great to have you today. Lee, Propel HR is how you would find her. I really appreciate your time. If you're listening right now, we're going to wrap up with Lee with her last piece of advice. But if you're listening right now, we're going through a series right now where we're helping people go remote with MyOutDesk. We do virtual staffing. We have virtual assistants. And right now, people are like just not ready for work from home. 5% of the economy worked from home as of last year, according to the U.S. Census. And like literally, like a couple days ago, 50% started working from home. So we're giving away a free guide. If you text MOD to 31996, you'll get I think it's a 12-part detailed description of exactly the systems, tools, acronyms to use, how to have meetings. I mean, things like when you have to go to the bathroom, what do you say? Well, it's in our guide. You actually say, I need to do a bio break. You don't tell people I'm going potty like my 4-year-old might, you know? So we've got that guide for you. It's completely free. Normally we gate these things or lock them up because we're a content-based company. We help people with our content, but right now you just text, you get it for free, and you can put your company's logo on it. You can share it with your employees. You can share it with your vendors. You can share it with your clients and your prospective clients, and you can help people do what we're all getting used to right now, which is working remotely. Lee, thanks for being here again.
Absolutely.
What would be your summary of the advice today?
Well, we're going to get through this, and I appreciate you and how you're helping people everywhere with how to work remote. We're doing the same thing. We're offering some free HR advice to get through it. Yep. There's lots of legislation going on, so make sure they're keeping up to date and working with counsel if you know any of these things apply to them, that they have to do paid leave and you know, so there's so much going on there. Keep learning, keep communicating, and really keep the morale of their teams going. I send a thought of the day every single day to all of our employees just to say, you know, keep going. We got this.
Yeah.
So there are different ways, but just stay strong. We'll get through this, and stay healthy and wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands. All right. Well, great advice from Lee. Thank you so much. Propel HR is her company. And if somebody wanted to find you, how would they do that, Lee?
You go to our website, propelhr.com.
All right. Thanks for being here. And if you're listening, don't forget to get your free guide. It's text the word MOD for MyOutDesk to 31996, and you'll get a copy of exactly the way you can take your business, your employees, your vendors, your prospective clients remote with MyOutDesk. Thanks for your time, Lee. Have a great day.
Thank you.